long time because in last semester I did not take lecture in this particular for these particular students, but I know many of them by name. So good afternoon, everyone, once again, and I welcome you all. So, as in fact, you guys are aware about the expert. In fact, let me introduce the expert first, and then I'll tell you the objective behind this workshop. So, the expert for this session is Dr. Sanjay Shah sir. He is having, even perhaps in computer field, I don't know if anybody is having more experience than him. So he is having more than 30 years of experience in computer field, a very experienced person in computer domain and a very prominent personality, not only from KSV point of view, but across Gujarat. There is hardly any, person who does not know Dr. Shah sir. So, and even we had one session earlier during our lecture series in last semester, and even during that time only he expressed his willingness that rather than lecture of 1 or 2 hours, if we can have more time for interaction with students, that would be great. And even he expressed that if we can have some hands-on sessions on any computer subjects, then it would be great. So then we said, let us find out a few topics which are, good from students' perspective, so far as placement or projects are concerned. So we identified, in fact, even I took help from Sanjay Shah sir also, that what could be the different topics for such workshops. So we started with different things, and the Python was, of course, the very first one. And then Laravel was there, Flutter was there, .NET Core was there. So and so we identify around 6, 7 different technology which were not there in your regular curriculum. In fact, Python is there in, I guess, one branch as a regular subject, and elective as in other branch. But at the end, it happened that a few students wanted to learn Python, but they could not go for the option of selecting that what do you call that, elective subjects. So I promised to those students that don't worry about that part. We will take care of this Python requirement. So this is the primary idea of having a Python subject, and of course Python is something like it has grown very drastically in last 5, 10 years. And the reason behind its very popularity is not about the syntax and all those, because syntax you would be learning and you would see that it's not very difficult to learn the syntax. But the way Python is clubbed with various technology like the Python plus data science, Python plus machine learning, Python plus deep learning. So there are many different ways you can use Pythons in your future. So in this workshop, what we exactly wanted is to make you aware about the basics and preliminaries about the Python background. So at least what we want, because we wanted you to take at one place from where you can start jumping. All right. So for that, I and Sanjay Shah sir had series of interaction before coming to this point, and he really advised me a lot that what could be the best way to arrange such type of workshop. All right. And even he has got his different way of teaching this Python workshop. Of course, he'll be teaching you the syntax and all those stuff. But along with that, what he really conveyed me is, he emphasized on making small projects. Because, many a times we have observed that learning syntax may not be sufficient. Like earlier you learned C, then C++, then Java, then Python. Maybe in future you'll be learning JavaScript and many different things. So learning technology, learning syntax, learning programming may not be difficult for you guys, even if later on something new is coming up. But the more important thing is putting that knowledge of syntax, putting that knowledge of programming into practice. That is more important. All right. So that is what even Sanjay sir would be, taking care of during his various sessions. So he has planned around 20 to 25 different sessions of 1 hour each, and he would be more, emphasizing with on how you can use this Python in, future. So this was the basic idea behind organizing this workshop. All right. So I hope you understand the objectives behind it, and wherein after this workshop, at least what we want you is something like, okay, sir, now we are confident, we know the basics of Python, and now if small projects are there, we can definitely start doing the project. So that sort of confidence that we are expecting from you at the end of this workshop. So with this brief remark, now let me welcome Sanjay Shah sir again. Sir, thank you very much for sparing your valuable time and sharing all the different things with us. Over to you, sir.
So thank you very much, HB Patel. My friend, he gave me a very long introduction. Okay, so shall we start? I am so excited to give you content of the Python. Friends, I hope HB Patel, મારો અવાજ સંભળાય છે ને બરાબર? મારો અવાજ સંભળાય છે ને?
Yes, sir.
Okay. શેરિંગ કરી લઉં છું જરા, એ ખાલી દેખાય છે કે નહીં કહી દેજો.
Okay. And students can also post, their comments in the chat box. So all raise their hand.
Share. કદાચ મારાથી શેર નથી થઈ શકતું.
Okay, Jinkal.
Yes, sir.
Have you made, sir, admin?
Yes, I have made sir as a presenter.
So, sir, તમે પેલા લીડની બાજુમાં બટન છે?
હા, એમાં હું ગયો છું, પણ એમાં છે ને પાવર પોઈન્ટ મારું ઓન જ છે, પણ એ છે ને શેર નથી થતું. ત્યાં ક્લિક કરું છું, પણ
ત્યાં નીચે શેર બટન કે એવું કોઈ પછી બટન છે, એ ક્લિક કર્યા પછી
browse my okay. ઓકે, હું 1 મિનિટ ટ્રાય કરું છું, થઈ જશે કદાચ. Python workshop, Python V1.
Yes, now it is popping up.
Yes. Okay.
Now it is visible, sir.
Okay.
Please proceed.
So, can we start, friends? Okay, I hope some of you may know something about Python, or some may know more, but I hope that if few of you are not knowing anything, I have considered that, and I have decided to start from the beginning. Okay, so let me start. So today we are going to discuss introduction of Python, means why Python and how it is useful to us. Then print statement, then string manipulation, then input, Python variables, data types, mathematical operators. We'll see one exercise, that is to calculate BMI, that is body mass index. Then we'll see number manipulation, and very powerful is AppString. And we'll see one more exercise, that is life in Wix. Okay, so let us start from the first slide, that is introduction. So Python is an interpreted, object-oriented, general purpose and high level programming language with dynamic semantics. Probably you know almost all the terms, but let me say one sentence on all. First is interpreted. So basically a program is run in two ways. Either it is compiled or it is interpreted. Compiling means a whole program will be run at a time and you will find a list of errors. Whereas in case of interpreter, it will take one line by one line. And if any error is found, it will stop checking and it will give you the error. Okay, so that is difference between interpretation and compilation. Next is object oriented. Normally you are aware about object oriented programming, but it evolved from the monolithic programming. Actually, first came monolithic programming. In early days, there was BASIC and Fortran language. It was allowing a monolithic programming, means a whole program written with a single function like main. Okay. Then procedural programming came in picture. That is, you can write functions, you can separate data, and you can call functions in the main program. So program is divided into functions, and you can manage and reuse the function in program again. That is procedural programming technique. Later on, what happens? You have used structure in C. So if once a structure is defined, it can be used by any function. But for the protection of the data, actually programming means what? Program is divided basically into two parts: data and the procedure to perform operations on data, which we call it as a function. So function and data. So for privacy of the data, this data and function are clubbed together and formed a class. So in object-oriented programming, we have class and object concept. So this Python also supports object-oriented programming. General purpose means this is not only for some specific purpose. For example, Word is for word processing. Excel is for data sheet, matlab worksheet. So in this way, this Python is not for a particular purpose. It is general purpose. You can use for any kind of programming. Then high level, it is an high level language. High level means it is away from the machine. Low level means a programming language which is very near to machine. So as you are going far and far from the machine, we call it as a higher and higher language level. Okay, and that will be more easy as far as user is concerned. So as the programming language is higher level, it is more user friendly, we can say. Okay. Next is you can use Python for developing desktop GUI applications, websites, and web applications. Python's simple, easy, and learn syntax emphasizes readability and therefore reduce the cost of program maintenance. Now, this is very important as far as the programming is concerned, because once you write a program, suppose you have selected a job in a company. After 6 months or 1 year, suppose you have got a better opportunities and you have left that company. So whatever you have developed should not be developed again by some other person. It should be continued from the place where you have stopped. So for that, he has to understand what you have done. So if the language is easy, then for other person, it will be easier to understand what you have done. So in that way, the Python is very easy to understand because it is English-like language. Syntax is English-like language. So it will be easy to understand by other person so that maintenance of the program can be easy. Python supports, this is very important feature of the Python. Python supports modules and packages, which encourages program modularity and code reuse. So lots of packages are available. You can reuse it just by including that module in your program. Okay. For example, in C, you are including your library functions, but here you have modules and packages. Lots of packages are available. For example, if you want to do graphics, simply add a Turtle module. Okay. Similarly, if you want data analytics, just include a particular module in your program. Okay. So in this way, you have lots of functionalities, lots of modularities you can use in your program. Next is Python supports many operating systems. So This is not, Python is only useful on Windows operating system or on Mac or on Unix. It is almost available for all the operating systems. So it is, we can say, platform independent. The standard library allows you to choose from a wide range of modules according to your precise needs. I just talked about this. Each module further enables you to add functionality to the Python application without writing additional code. So whatever existing codes are there, you can change that code also in the Python. Okay. As an open source programming language, Python helps you to curtail software development cost significantly. So these are the, we can say, features or advantages, or we can say why we should use Python. So today Python has got lots of popularities because of these features. So if we learn this, I think it will be helpful to us. Next, now we are going to start our Python. I hope most of you have installed Python. If you have not installed Python, if you want, I can give you the procedure to install. Otherwise, it is very simple. You just simply give next. And if there is a choice, you select all the options. You check all the boxes and just install. It will be very simple. Still, if you want, I can show you the video for installing the Python. But I hope you have installed the Python. OK. So first, let us start with the print statement. OK. So print, simple print hello world kind of things. So we are going to discuss this. I will show you in the Python IDE. String is a set of characters enclosed in double quote or single quote. Normally, we have studied in C and C++ that string is a set of characters which is enclosed in double quote, right? But in Python, you can have double quote or single quote, whatever you like, you can use for the string. Now, this is why advantageous, because if double quote is part of your output string, if you want to print something which includes double quote, then you can use a single quote outside the set of characters to show it as a string. OK, we'll see several examples for that, and vice versa. So if single quote is part of your output string, then you can use double quote for the string. OK, let us see and go to Python. Can you see? OK. Can you see this Python screen, students?
No, sir. We cannot see the screen because you have to share.
I have to share it again. OK.
Yes, because you have shared PPT only. So for that, you have to share whole screen of your window.
Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Now is it visible?
OK. OK, friends. See, when you will go to Python, OK, then let me show you which kind of screen you will able to see. OK, so you will see 3 prompts, 3 greater than sign. I have used IDE. You know, Dev C++ is an IDE, that is Integrated Development Environment. So for Python, right now I am going to use one IDE known as Thonny, Thonny. OK, so which has 4 parts. Actually, this screen is divided into 4 parts. The one is called editor, where we normally type our program, the lower bottom, the left bottom or left lower screen is Python console, or we can say shell. Okay, where we'll able to see the output, right? The right hand side top one will see the variables there. So whatever variables we will use, their latest value will be able to see. For example, if we say a equal to 5, you can see variable a and its value is 5. Okay. And the last one, that is bottom right, is for assistant. We'll discuss about later. Okay. So first of all, run this print statement. So this print statement is print into bracket string. Okay. So if we run this, we'll be able to see hello students on the screen. But I have written 3 times print hello students. So here you can use this arrow for running the program. So I will run this program. You can see the output is here. Hello students, and hello students. Why I have taken it for 3 times? Because the next print statement will print from the next line. In C, unless you give \n or new line character, you won't be able to print in the next line. But here, if you give your statement in the next line, it will print in the next line. Okay. Suppose you want to give same thing, a step by step I am going. Okay. See, this is my statement. Print hello students \n hello students. So if I write in the same print statement, to change the line for the output, we have to use the new line character, which is same as in C. So \n is used for printing the content from the next line then onwards. So whatever you have written after \n will be printed in the next line. If we run this code, you will see hello students and hello students. Okay. Next. Now here we are going to see that single quote, that is father's single quote, is part of my output string. So outside this string, we will use double quote. Okay. So now if I run this statement, I will get output that this is my father's house. Okay. This is my father's house. So if single quote is part of your output string, you can use double quote as a string, or we can say outside the content that is to be printed. Next, suppose you have double quote as part of your string, then you can use single quote as for the string. For example, here print Kohinoor I have written in the double quote is a diamond. So I will use single quote outside my content to be printed. Okay. Now if we run this statement, you can see Kohinoor in the double quote is a diamond. Okay. Now let us talk about concatenation of strings. Okay. Then 2 strings can be concatenated with the help of plus sign. Let us see what is the difference between these 2. Let me run this. Okay, you can eat apple, and second is you can eat apple. Difference between these 2 is if you are concatenating 2 strings, A is a string containing apple, you can eat is another string. If you concatenate these 2 strings, there will not be space between these 2 strings. So you will see you can eat apple. So there is no space between eat and apple. And so if you are concatenating 2 strings and if you want space in between, so you have to manage for that. Okay. Second thing, check the third window, that is top right. A is a variable I have used and its value is apple. You can see that A is a apple. Okay. So whatever the variables you will use in your program, you can see its latest value on the right hand side top screen. OK, next. So if there are more than one variable, you can use comma also to distinguish to print the two variables. For example, in the next line, I have written you can eat comma apple. That is also possible because a is another string, another variable, and you can eat is one variable, or we can say one string. So if we run this, let me make this as comment. In Thorny, if you want to make group of statements as comment, you can use Control and 3. OK, so if we run this, you can see you can eat apple. Here in the string, I don't have use any space, but if you separate them by comma instead of plus, then there will be a space between these two variables automatically, or we can say between these two state items. One is the string, other one is a variable, which is also a string. So there will be space between these two items if you have used comma between these two. OK. Now next is integer. Suppose you have written a is equal to 3, right? Now if you try to print this, print you can eat plus a. Now this will give you error because a is an integer type of variable and this is a string. So string cannot be concatenated with the integer. So you will get error. Let us check. OK, so there will be type error because this is a is a string integer type of variable, whereas you can eat is a string. OK, so if you want to concatenate these two, either you have to make a as a string, for example, str into bracket a, then it will work. OK, right? You can eat or 3 because 3 is a variable. OK, now suppose you want to print this without converting it into another type, then you simply consider these two as a separate variables and just separate them by comma. Then you will not get any error. You will get this number is 3. Let us see. OK, the output, this number is 3. OK, suppose here right hand side you can see the value of a is 3. Previously it was a is apple, right? Now we want to know the type of a. So type is a function which can give you the type of any variable. So type into bracket a variable is a which will give us type of that particular variable. Let us print it and check which variable of a is. So here written it is class int. So a is of integer type, right? Suppose I write the same statement here. Control C, and let me write it here. Control V. OK. So here it should give you string type because a is equal to apple, right? You can see class is equal to str. So it is a string type and the remaining output as it is. OK. Now let us go back. This we have seen already. OK. As we have seen, all the objects are separated by comma. Only string can be concatenated by plus, and other variables like integer, float, boolean, etc. cannot be concatenated with plus. About the different types of variable we will see in the next slides. Upcoming slides. OK, we can accept data from input from keyboard using input statement. OK. For example, input by default accepts strings only. For example, am is equal to input message. Let us see. Okay. Let us talk about input statement. Let me make all the previous statement as comment line. Okay. Input, what is your name? Okay. Now let us run this. What happens? Can you say? Nothing will happen because you are not storing the value you have input in any variable. Let us see, but what happens? What is your name? I can say Mohit. So there is no variable. This input and message, this whole statement will be replaced by Mohit. Okay, let us see in the next statement. X is equal to input. What is your name? Okay, so whatever you will input, that will be stored in X. So value of X will be Mohit, that you will be able to see on the right hand side. Okay. For example, let us run this. Say Mohit. Value of X is Mohit and it is of string type. Okay, we can print it also. For example, in the next statement, we have print statement. You can see you have given Mohit. Okay, so in this way, you can input the value of any variables, or you can input anything which can be finally stored in any variable. Okay, or you can directly print it. We can print in this way also. Print bracket, input this. So I think in any other language you cannot do this. Input can be a separate statement. Once you store it in any variable, then only you can print. But here this input statement with your message will be replaced by whatever the value you will assign to in response of that particular statement. For example, if we run this, what is your name? I can say Mohit. Then that can be printed also. See, output is Mohit. Okay. So we can print also, and as a part of input, so input can be used in the print also. Anyway, next. So even if you give number, it will be considered as string. For example, n1 is equal to input give a number, n2 is equal to input give another number. Now, if you try to print n1 plus n2, what happens? Suppose I will give 5 is equal to n1 and 6 is equal to n2. Okay, then what happens? What will be printed? Will it be 11? No, it will be 5, 6, because whatever you will input, it will be considered as string. And this n1 plus n2 will concatenate two strings and not two numbers. Okay, let us see. First number is 5. Second number is 6. So output is 5, 6. That is concatenation of the two strings. This will not be considered as number at all. Okay. So, for example, you can check the type of n1. That will be string type, right? Okay. Suppose if you want to convert it into integer, or if you want n1 as real number, okay, then you can convert it into integer. So input give a number. So this will be replaced by a string, whatever you will input. Okay, so for example, say it is 5. So integer 5 string will be integer 5. So it will be considered as numeric 5 at that time. So now if you write print n1 plus n2, then it will give you 11, and not 5, 6. Okay. For example, let us run this. One number is 5, other number is 6, and the output is 11. Okay. And here you can see N1 is equal to 5. The single quote is removed. So N1 is late. Initially it was 5 string, but later on you have converted it into integer. Okay. Suppose you want to convert it into integer here. Let me do this. Okay, now let me run and see what happens. Now your N1 and N2 is string type of variables. Though we have converted it to, so it will be only for this particular operation, it will be converted into integer, but originally it will still be N1 and N2 are of string type. Okay, I think this will be clear. Can we go next on next topic? Okay. So next, to input other type of data, we need to convert it into respective form. For example, we have just seen that whatever the input we have provided to the statement, we converted it into integer using int variable or int function. Okay, now let us see whatever the variable names and variables. Now, so we are going to discuss about Python variables and variable names and data types. Okay, so the rules for forming a variable name is same as C, but the difference is only that in C we can have the maximum length of the variable name is 256 characters, whereas in Python there is no limit. Okay, so just let us recall. First character must be alphabet. So your Python variable cannot be started with any digit. Okay. No special characters except underscore. So your variable name should not contain any special character except underscore. No keyword is allowed. So input INPUT cannot be your variable name because it's a reserved word, or we can say keyword, right? Variable name length has no limit. So as I told you that in C, your variable name can be maximum up to 256 characters. Whereas in Python, there is no limit. But we normally not write variable name longer than one line. So in one line, we can have maximum 79 characters. So normally we write variable name maximum length up to 79 characters. We can give a longer name, but normally not preferable. Okay. Now let us talk about data types in the Python. So there are 4 types of data, very simple. In C, you had different types of data. In primitive data types, you had, even for integer, there was short, there was int, and there is a long. Similarly, for float, there is a float and there is a double. But here totally there are only 4 types of data. The first one is known as string, which we have already discussed, can be written in the double quote or single quote. Okay. Second is integer. We have also seen about integer. Integer is nothing but a whole number. Okay. Third one is float. If we need a number with decimal point, we call it as a float. There is no like double kind of things. All the numbers with decimal points are known as float. And the fourth one is Boolean, which is either true or false. Remember, this in this true, TRUE, you have to write capital T. And for false, you have to write capital F. If you write small f, the rather lowercase f, then it won't be considered as a Boolean value. Okay. So these 4 types of variables are there. Let us see these 4 types of variables. File, open, data types. Okay. So first is string type. We have already discussed, but here we need to discuss is you can use each character separately, even if you store it as a string, right? In C we can use, but in C we were using that string as a, okay, whereas here whatever the string is there, you can use each and every characters with the help of subscript. Subscript starts from 0. So if we print name1 0, okay, if we print name1 0, it will print H, right? Because first character. Can we write like this, name1 bracket -4? Can we write -4 subscript? Till now, whatever the language is we have studied, minus subscript with minus sign was not allowed. But in Python it is allowed. If a subscript is with minus sign, it will start from right hand side. So it will not start from -0. It will start from -1. So if you write print name1 into bracket -1, then it will give you O, right? Similarly, if you write -4, what it will give you? E, right? Let us see, run these statements. So first you have got H, then you have got E, then last one is length of name1. len is a function which will give you length of the string. So there are 5 characters in this string. So you will get 5 as an output. So here output will be H. In the next line, output will be E. And this line will give you 5 as an output because it's a length of the string. Okay. Now, let us discuss further. Integer. Now we know integer. Integer is a whole number. Simply 1, 2, 3 is an integer. 4, 5, 6 is an integer. If you run this, you will get 1, 2, 3 plus 4, 5, 6. So your output will be 5, 7, 9. Let us run this. Okay. So your output is 5, 7, 9. Addition of these 2 numbers. Now, can we write this? Number 1 is equal to 23 underscore 455. So normally we used to write comma after every 3 digits from right to left. But here underscore can be used to separate the digits just for increase the readability. So it is same as 23455, right? So this is a valid number in Python, 23 underscore 455. This underscore is used just to separate the digits to increase the readability. So 23 underscore 455 is a valid number. You can add, subtract, delete, any operations, any mathematical operations can be done on this number. So let us print number 1 plus 5. It should give you 23460. Okay. You can see 23460, and the value of this number 1 variable is 23455. You can see on the top right corner of the screen. Okay. Now, next is floating point number. So if you store it with decimal point, then it will be considered as a floating point number. Like C and C++, no need to declare any variable. Depending on the value you are assigning, it will be considered as that type of variable. For example, if we write pi is equal to 3.14159, this will consider automatically as a float type of variable. Okay. For example, let us print this pi. We'll see later this one. Let me print pi only. Okay, let us run this. Let me make this as also comment line. Okay, you can see this 3.14159 we have printed. So important is, let us see which kind of variable is this. So print, we can say type into bracket pi. So this must be of float type because we have assigned a value to pi with the decimal point. Okay, here you can see class float. So it's a float type of variable. Okay, let us see Boolean. Okay, since this is let me take this 3.14.159 divided by 100. Okay, again pi 1 will be 3.14159. Okay, let me print here pi 1. Okay, so you can assign expression directly to the variable also. 3.14159, right? Now we can see the Boolean type of variables, that is x is equal to true, or you can have false. As I told you that t must be capital. Okay, if I write small t, you can see the color. Now this will not be considered as a Boolean kind of variable. It will give you error because true is not a variable. Before assigning the value of the true to x, we have to define it first. So it must give you error. Let us run and check. Okay, so it is error, right? So this must be capital T. Now if you try to run this, and let me print x also. Let me print x as well as x type. Print bracket x. Okay, so you will get x is equal to value of x and type of x is Boolean. So you can see the output true and class Boolean. Value of x is equal to true, you can see in the value pane. Okay, now so we have already checked the types of all the variables. I think okay. This actually we have already discussed. Test is equal to input, give a number. Test is equal to test plus 1. What happened? Suppose we give 5 is equal to test, then what happened? It will give you error, right? Because test will accept only string. Even though we'll give 1 or 5, it will be accepted as string. So string 1 cannot be added to the string. So it should give you error. Okay, let me run this. Okay, give a number, say 5. Now it is giving error, right? Okay, so this we have actually already discussed. Okay, now exercise. Can you do exercise now? Suppose I want to find out the sum of digits. You give a two-digit number and find the sum of the digits. Okay, so okay, I think you can do it easily, but in C you cannot do in this way. In way we are doing with Python. For example, suppose you input a two-digit number, then directly we can separate digits with the help of subscript, right? Suppose you give 56 as a number, then D1 can store 5, D2 can store 6, but both will be of string type, right? You want sum of the digits. So sum of the digits is equal to integer, convert it into integer and add them. Okay, and you will get the result. For example, this, let us run this. Okay, give a number 56. So 11 you have got sum of digits. Okay, right? So if you want to do the same program in C, so whatever the number you will give, you have to separate the digits with the help of modulo operator. For example, if I do it in this way, num is equal to integer. Now you cannot separate digits in this way. Then you have to take digit is equal to number percentage 10. Right? Then you will get the first digit, that is unit digit to D1. Okay, and this can be obtained by number /10. I will explain later what is the meaning of double slash. It is actually a floor division, which is different from C. We'll discuss today only. Okay, so if we do in this way, then only no need to convert it into this D1 plus D2. Okay, now you can see, say 56, you can get 11. Okay, so in C you have to do in this way, but here simply with the help of subscript you can get it. Can we do in this way? -2 -1. Can we do in this way? Sorry, this should be -1. This should be -2. So first digit from right hand side, second digit from right hand side. This is also correct. Okay, we can do this also. So minus subscript is also allowed. For example, 56 if I write. Oh, D1 is equal to now. Oh, it is. If it is string only, then it is possible. So it is 11. OK, so we can use subscript minus also. If we use the minus subscript, it will start from right hand side. OK, so this is about input and all about data types. So 4 types of data are clear: integer, float, string and boolean. Only 4 types. OK. Now let us go to our presentation. Mathematical operators. So addition operator is very simple. We know every subtraction. We also know multiplication. We also know double asterisk, that is power operator, which was not available in C and C++. OK, we can use double asterisk for power operator. That is, if you want to print 3⁸ or 3⁴ or 2⁸. So 2 ** 8 you can use. Float division. This is very important. In C, if you try to use this division symbol, then it will give you integer division. Depending on the operand. Suppose both the operands are integer, it will give you integer division. For example, 15 by 2 will give you only 7 and it will not give you 7.5. If you write 15.0 by 2, then it will give you 7.5 in C. So in C, the division, whether it is integer or float, is depending on the type of the operands you have used. If both the operands are integer, it will give you integer division. Otherwise, it will give you float division. OK, if you want integer division in Python, then you have to use the floor division. This is floor. OK, floor means it will not be rounded. It will give you lower integer. OK, for example, if the value of a variable is 5.6, so 0.6 will simply be discarded and its floor value will be 5, right? 5 is the floor value and we can say 6 is the ceiling of 5 and 5.6. So integer which is greater than 5.6 is 6, and integer which is less than 5.6 is 5. So 5 is the floor value. That means we can say that the numbers after decimal point will simply be discarded. Okay. So for that, or we can say for integer division, there will be double slash. Next is modulo. We know all these things. Other operators we are familiar with. We have used in C. Okay. So it's important is it's an order, or we can say preference is given to the operators. We can say PEMDAS, PEMDAS. Okay, that is parenthesis, exponent, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. So I have written parenthesis, then exponent, then multiplication and division. Okay, though it is written multiplication and then after division, but they have the same priority. Similarly, addition and subtraction have the same priority. So in case of same priority, here it will be evaluated from left to right, which is called associativity. So this is called priority, parenthesis, exponent, multiplication, division, addition and subtraction. It is priority. But the operators which are with the same priority, they will be evaluated from left to right, which is called associativity. Okay, so associativity is from left to right. Let us see this in the program. Mathematical operators. Okay. Simply 5 plus 6 is 11, 5 minus 6 is -1, 6 by 3. Though both are integer, it will be float division. That means the result will not be 2, but it will be 2.0. Okay. And if you try to print the type of 6 by 3, it will give you float and it will not give you integer. For example, let us run this. Okay, 11 minus 1 and 2.0, and its type is float. Okay, now let me tell you one very important things. Otherwise, I will tell you with the help of when we'll start if statement. But let me tell you here, you have to write all the statements from the first position unless it is required. For example, here I cannot write print in this way. It will give you error because here indentation of the statement matters. Okay, how it will matter we'll see in the next session, but here it will give you error because of indentation. Okay, so your statement must start from the first position. Let us run this. You will get error. Okay, you will get indentation error. Okay, so you have to start all the statements from the first position. Okay, certain statements can be indented, but we'll see later how and when. Okay, so as I told you, this will give you float division and this will give you floor division. Okay, print 6 by 3, but if you write double slash, then the result will be integer. Okay, for example, print this. You can see this is only 2 and the previous one was 2.0. So if you use single slash, you will get float division, or we can say result will be in the form of floating point number. If you use double slash, then the result will be in the form of integer number. Okay, 15.4, 15%4, we are familiar with this. Okay, this is nothing but modulo operator. That means it will give you remainder when 15 is divided by 4. Let us run this. See, 15 divided by 4. So 4 3s are 12 and 3 will be the remainder. Suppose I write here 6. Again, it should give you 3, right? Okay. Suppose I write 7. It should give you 1. 7 2s are 14. Remainder will be 1. Okay. Right. You can see 1 here. Now we can use power operator here, which is not allowed in C and C++. 2 raised to 5 we can write in this way also. So let us run this. Okay. So output is 32. 2 raised to 5 is 32. Okay. Now, this is related to associativity and priority. Let me make this as also comment. 3 multiplied by 3 plus 3 slash 3 minus 3. Okay. Now, here multiplication, addition, division and subtraction. So we have, as far as priority is concerned, multiplication and division is higher priority. Addition and subtraction has lower priority. But multiplication and division has the same priority, we can say. So it will start from left to right. So first this will be evaluated. 3 into 3 will be what? 6. 9. So it will be 9 plus 3 slash 3 minus 3. Next, what will be evaluated? 3 divided by 3. So 3 divided by 3 will be what? 1. Okay. Next, addition and subtraction. So 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. So output should be 7. Okay. Let us run this. Output is 7.0. Because as I told you that this slash will give you float division. So the answer will be in float 7.0. Okay. So if you want to change the priority, you have to use the symbol which has the highest priority. So if you want to change the priority of this plus, which is lowest, but if you want to make it as highest, so just use parenthesis. So 3 into bracket 3 plus 3 slash 3 minus 3. We can say that parenthesis is used to change the priority. Okay, now what happens? Our 3 into 3. But since this is into bracket, it has the highest priority. So 3 plus 3 will be 6. So this will be evaluated first 6, then slash, then 3 minus 3. Okay. Now next is this multiplication will be evaluated. This will be 18. 18 by 3 will be 6. And 6 minus 3 will be 3. Okay. So you will get result 3 here. This one. Okay. So this is 3.0. So priority can be changed using the parenthesis, or we can say the symbol with highest priority. Okay. So this is all about mathematical operators. I think time is also over. So I should stop here because this is very initial stage. I think most of the things you are knowing very well, right? But still, if you have any question, you can ask me. Let me unshare the screen. Okay. I think the things have cleared to you. If you have any question, please ask. Okay, madam. Hello.
हाँ सर, यस सर.
हाँ हाँ, आवाज संभळाय છે ને મેડમ?
हाँ सर, સંભળાઈ રહ્યો છે.
ઓકે ઓકે. હા.
So
તો
students, yes sir.
આપણે પૂરું કરીએ ને નિર્જરીબેન?
Yes sir, yes sir.
Okay, okay, okay. I think today the question was very simple, so I don't think they will have any doubt.
Yes, sir. There is no query in the chat box, so I think there is no question, right, sir?
Okay. So should I leave?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you.
Sir.